Masculinity, often associated with the male, right, is an energy. Masculinity does not mean void of femininity when it comes to a person, a being. Same thing with femininity, often associated with a woman or female. It does not mean the absence of masculinity. Where a lot of you are getting tripped up is masculinity and femininity are energies. It's an energy source. There are all these different characteristics associated with being masculine or associated with being feminine, but it is an energy source. So, yes, it is true that a woman in her natural state, most women, let me say that, most women in their natural state are naturally feminine. However, there are certain situations where they use their masculine energy, where we use our masculine energy to get things done. I.e., you see this in a lot of time in corporate. The same thing with masculinity, right? Men are typically naturally masculine, right? They're naturally, want to get things done, but it does not mean that they're void of tapping into their feminine energy when it comes to things like dealing with their woman. So this idea that there's no such thing as conditional femininity is insane, right? Because you literally tap into your feminine and your masculine energy based on conditions, right? So it makes sense. Depends on the condition. You tap into whatever energy source in order to get whatever you need accomplished. So your natural state, when we talk about the divine femininity or the divine masculine, is normally we're in our natural state, but your natural state requires restoration. You must heal your trauma in order to return to your natural state. A lot of women utilize their masculine energy source in each area of their life because of different traumas and wounds that they have not yet healed. The same thing with men. A lot of men use their feminine energy source a lot more than their traditional like masculine source, right? Because of traumas and wounds that have yet to be healed. So when we talk about the divine femininity, the divine masculinity, this is someone who has gone through the healing process in order to heal the trauma that has that's kind of created this way of life for them. So a lot of people get caught up in the appearance, right? The appearance of femininity. She's a woman who looks a certain way or maybe dressed a certain way. The appearance of masculinity, right? He's a man who looks a certain way and he acts a certain way, right? And while those things may be true, it is at a very, very surface level. In order to return to your natural being, there has to be healing that takes place. And that's where a lot of people are losing it, right? They're skipping over the healing process. And I will tell you, is absolutely hard, and healing is a continuous thing. We must continually check in with ourselves. Also, because there isn't often the recognition that masculinity and femininity are energy sources, we often see, instead of listening to how a person feels or how that individual is, we're telling people how to be feminine or how to be masculine. And this is an individual thing. What femininity looks like for one woman looks completely different from another woman. The same thing with masculinity. What it looks like for one man is going to be different for another man. So when someone like April Mason says a man will fumble a woman who's in her divine feminine energy if he isn't used to dealing with that type of woman, what she simply is saying is that woman has done the healing and has done the work for the most part to return to her natural state. So when she gets out of those corporate meetings, when she's done with handling business and she comes home, she's in her soft feminine nature, right? She's not wanting to argue, maybe not use too much brain power. She just wants to be. And if you're not used to dealing with that type of woman, it could come off as she doesn't care. The same thing when a woman is not used to dealing with a man who has returned, like he's done the work in the healing to return to his natural energy source, right? That natural masculine energy. And if you're not used to dealing with that type of man, and when he takes, authority, when he's assertive, it looks like him being controlling, when in fact, it is the complete opposite, right? That's his way of caring. So, all of that to say, masculinity and femininity are energy sources. No woman is void of masculine energy just because she's feminine. No man is void of feminine energy just because he's a masculine. Where you get into the divine area is where you've done the work and the healing to return to your natural state of being. However, when a condition arises and you have to make this switch to get things done, you're able to do that. The bigger picture is to do the work and to do the healing. That way you're able to be an amazing person for you and also an amazing person for someone else.